actions reminds us that fighting tobacco is a moral responsibility for all organizations, individuals, and governments from around the world. For example, tobacco use is the world's leading preventable cause of death. Tobacco kills nearly 6 million people each year, of which more than 600,000 are non-smokers dying from breathing secondhand smoke. If no action is taken, tobacco will kill more than 8 million people every year by the year 2030. More than 80% of them among people living in low and middle income countries. On this note, I thank you for your attention.
Health Minister Omar Sy and WHO country boss Charles Sego Moses speaking there on the occasion of World No Tobacco Day. West Africa Constellation Program in conjunction with Constellation Consortium Gambia Wednesday held a day's forum for Gambian and European investors. Grts' Ominjai was at the opening ceremony and reports the highly interactive gathering discussed a host of potential investment and financing opportunities that Constellation Consortium Gambia and its Italian partners can roll out in the country.
The Constellation Consortium program was conceived 2 years ago in Italy by Gambian Councillor Francisco Cristina and his Italian counterpart by the name Gian Matteo Balestini. Their mission is to transform selected West African countries into industrialized economic zones by creating jobs for women and youths, support technology transfer while ensuring economic and political independence. They, alongside the CEO of Past Trading, Suleiman Seka, founded the Constellation Consortium Gambia with the aim of supporting the welfare of the youth in ECOWAS countries by ensuring full employment. Investment, they say, is very crucial to the development of the continent, and with the Gambia known for its position as an investment haven, this development is intended to usher in more employment avenues, particularly for the women and youth folk. These Italian investors who want to engage Gambian public and private sectors on different business avenues are wholly welcomed by the multi-sectoral stakeholders in the business arena, with the belief that it can take the business to another step forward, thereby fast-tracking the development of the country.
Investment is good for competition, for regional competition, because if investors invest, we can then export. And once you export, you will earn hard currency. And it is hard currency that competes. You cannot compete with a dollar sign. It doesn't compete internationally.
Bridging the gap between Gambian and European investors is the main idea behind the 2014 Investment Forum.
The idea behind the forum and the setting up of the Constellation was not only to partner with Italian and Gambian investors, but to facilitate and arrange financing for Gambian companies in the areas of agriculture, infrastructural development, transport, health, energy, and some lots more.
Following a PowerPoint presentation featuring some of the intervention areas of one of the investment companies, a question and answer session took center stage, giving members of the business community and even those from public institutions the platform to ask and comment on issues that have a bearing on their respective businesses and what they can tap from the Constellation Consortium of the Gambia. Businessmen and women in attendance were urged to use the occasion wisely in order to benefit from the gains of this golden opportunity, a partnership that is seeking to explore a wide range of sectors. Ominjai, GRTS.
The Minister of Basic and Secondary Education has underlined the importance of private sector support in meeting the country's education goals. Honorable Fatulamin Fai was speaking at a meeting with top officials of the Standard Chartered Bank as they are poised to provide 5 regions with school desks. Ibrahim Balde has more on the development in this report.
This management team formally sat down with the top echelons of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to cut this important deal by providing school desks to 5 regions in the country for a period of 3 years is not a small feat.
We received another delegation from the bank, during which they informed us of their desire to support the education sector. And the area we identified and agreed on was the provision of furniture.
Our gesture here today is to officially hand over the first set of 300 dual desks, and is testimony to our commitment as a bank to the communities in which we live and work. Beyond the provision of banking solutions, we are also interested in the economic growth of our country, and we know education is one key sector that will drive this growth going into the future.
Minister of Basic and Secondary Education Fatou Lamin Faye emphasized the need for the private sector to inject more funds into education. Madam Faye went on to explain that the beneficiaries of this school desk might one day work for Standard Chartered Bank upon completion of their studies.
So we want to thank you. This is going to help us, move resources to other communities, so that at the end of the day, this wish of taking education to the real doorstep of every Gambian child, which is a dream, will become a reality. Because as I said, we are investing in the future leaders of this country, who might one day even become the managers and directors in your banks.
It is part of the bank's corporate social responsibility to invest into worthy causes such as education. For example, these school desks are expected to ease the demand for seats in the selected regions. The top echelons of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education are placed with the Standard Chartered Bank for the timely intervention in providing much-needed aid to schools in lower and upper basic schools.
Once again, let me say that it's a privilege to be here, and we believe that these desks will be put to good use for the benefit of the children in all the provinces that we have mentioned. Thank you, Minister, for having us.
In the next 3 years, the Standard Chartered Bank is expected to supply school desks to 5 regions in the country. Ibrahim Balde, Grts News.
Women Advancement Forum has launched the Women in Logistics and Transport Gambia chapter. WILLET is established to ease the transportation of goods and services in African countries. As Fatmata Simaha reports, the body also set its sights on empowering and ensuring the career advancement of women.
Was established in Johannesburg, South Africa. WAF, a women's movement comprising female entrepreneurs, both private and public, women advocacy group, African women in the diaspora, among a host of others. The movement also calls for African women to discuss ways of understanding mutual appreciation among member countries, which relates to network, promote professionalism, awareness, particularly in issues related to economic advancement of women. The Gambia is playing host to the 2014 edition of this mega conference held in many other African countries. The program brought together participants from Southern and West Africa as well as other African countries to partake, all in the drive to integrate women to work towards their common goals. As part of activities of the conference, today inaugurated Women in Logistics and Transportation, which is geared towards enhancing the economic development of each country. Fatoumata Jahumpa Sese, the host of the event, is credited for playing a key role in making sure that the Gambia is given the opportunity to launch this WILLET, which she said will create a platform to showcase women and to identify the needs of female workers in the transportation logistic industry.
Aisha will be leading a high-powered delegation to Malaysia, and hopefully Gambia would be joining Aisha if we only have at least 2. We would like to have more, but maybe we can have 2. So Aisha is going to form it, and those whom we have contacted here in the Gambia are the Gambia Ports Authority. We have Riders for Health. Riders for Health is an institution of government where all the project vehicles that have been sent to government have been centralized. And they take care of transportation within the government sector, and even the private sector are also consulting them to take care of their transport and logistics. The customs, which is now amalgamated with the revenue office, is called the Gambia Revenue Authority now. They also deal in logistics and transport, and